did you misinterpret that? It is 5:30, so we'll go ahead and get started. The meeting of the Hendricks County Animal Control Advisory Group will now come to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you wanted an agenda, they're up here on this little table. All right, a quorum is present. For the record, the shelter director position is now filled, and we welcome our new director, Christy Roberts, to her first meeting, our second meeting. And I'll try my best to speak loudly. I know last time it was hard to hear. So we can move on to the approval of minutes of February 3rd, 2026 meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that the minutes of the February 3rd, 2026 meeting is approved. Now let's move to the officer elections. The election of the secretary for the 2026 term. Scott Buttram currently serves this role but has expressed his wish to step down while remaining a member of the board. I now open the floor for nominations for the office of secretary. Is there a volunteer for nomination?
I nominate Greg.
Okay. All right. Is there any objection?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Greg. All right. So now we can move on to new business. As mentioned earlier, the new shelter director, Christy Roberts, has officially started as of last week, February 16th. Christy, we're really excited to have you join the team and lead the shelter. So for everyone here and listening online, can you just tell us a little about yourself, give a brief introduction?
Sure. So my name is Christy Roberts. I am from Greenfield, Indiana. I have worked in veterinary medicine for approximately 25 years. Done a little bit of everything from working in surgery to animal welfare. Most recently, I was the shelter manager at Greenfield Hancock Animal Management. Prior to that, I was at Hamilton County Humane Society. I was the surgery lead at Hamilton County prior to going to Greenfield. I have 2 adult daughters, and I'm excited to be in Hendricks County.
Yeah.
I do. I have 4 dogs and 5 cats, and I live out in the county, and I am not violating any ordinances.
Awesome. Thank you, Christy. All right. Now let's go to move on to the necessary updates to the resolution of this advisory board. We'll need to take a vote on the resolution to restate, restructure, and modernize this group. So this draft was emailed to the board members for review. I'll quickly list for everyone what the key changes are that we are requesting. So name change, number 1. Rather than be called Animal Control Advisory Group, we will be requesting the group be named Hendricks County Animal Care Advisory Group. So basically replacing control with care. For management alignment, the resolution officially recognizes that animal control operations have transitioned from the commissioners to the Hendricks County Sheriff's Department. The mission shift, the new version refocuses the group on public safety, animal welfare, and operational excellence rather than just the control. Membership structure defines a specific voting body, including a local 501c3 representatives, which is Humane Society, Friends of the Shelter, and Misty Eyes, and the county officials. And it has the compliance and transparency list still explicitly mandating that the compliance with the Indiana Open Door Law, and it provides the group with the authority to request operational data and reports from the shelters and sheriff's office. So I will entertain a motion to approve the resolution. You guys feel like you've had a chance to go through it?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
And so I believe the next steps then will be, it'll go to the county lawyer and then be presented to the commissioners?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Before we move on, do you guys have any questions about the resolution? Okay. All right. So moving into operational updates. Last Thursday, February 19th, we did a walkthrough with Garmong. The primary goal of this renovation is to move the shelter from basic ventilation to active pathogen destruction and significantly improve workflows. So we're basically trying to bridge the gap between current infrastructure and the gold standards for the animals. So this is a long list, so please bear with me. This reviews what we went through on Thursday, and Christy was present on, was that your third day? All right, so we discussed the biosecurity, HVAC, and sanitation. So this includes the airflow and UVC. So all mechanical equipment will be replaced with industrial grade units, including in-duct UVC lighting and wave air ionization. Negative pressure will be maintained in all animal occupied areas. It should be noted today there is no UVC, which helps kills the germs in the ductwork. They confirmed that all air from the quarantine and euthanasia spaces will be isolated and exhausted 100% outside. Garmong will investigate the degraded epoxy floors in the cat area and look into sanding them to improve the drainage. All outdated copper water lines serving the dog kennels will be removed and replaced to improve durability and sanitation. A commercial dishwasher is not recommended due to the high repair costs and minimal time savings. Instead, Christy is exploring a larger industrial washer and dryer. There might be a company that can help with discounted or donation of those. For the interior layout and flow improvements, the county is optimizing the footprint to reduce species-specific stress and improve operational safety. So this includes damaged cabinets will be replaced, drywall will be repaired as needed, walls painted, and all lighting fixtures and ceiling tiles replaced. Lighting will be replaced with LED lights. The ACO room will be partitioned, one part for storage and the other to create a dedicated dog meet and greet room, ensuring that dogs and cats have separate interaction spaces. Intake and triage. The intake area will be updated to include space for 3 to 4 dog runs, allowing animals to be medicated and processed before moving to new kennels rather than directly into the general population. The request to Garmong was given to investigate adding a sink to this area to prevent spread of diseases. And then this one kind of keeps me up at night. So we moved on to the euthanasia room, and when you go into, so euthanasia room is not available to public or volunteers, and when you walk in there, that's also where quarantine cats are kept. The reason this is troublesome is because these quarantine cats are viewing euthanasia of other animals. Thankfully, Christy has already mitigated that, blocking the view, and you will, I believe, partition that room, request partition of that room for euthanasia animals.
So it'll be completely separate. Once the renovation is done, it will be completely separate so that euthanasia will not be performed with any other animals present in the room. That's definitely not considered a humane process to euthanize animals in front of animals, and that's been being done up to this point, up until I was there. So.
Yeah, and on top of that, the staff hasn't had training for the proper euthanization procedures, so I believe you're looking into getting the proper...
So they've all been currently enrolled in the Humane Society of the United States euthanasia training program. They were given their binders and workbooks yesterday to start that program. Unfortunately, we are a little short-staffed right now, so they have all agreed that they wanted to start working on that at home because it's something that they have been requesting to take for quite some time and have not been able to do that. So once they complete that course, they will all become certified euthanasia technicians, which basically just teaches them, the appropriate measures to perform euthanasia techniques the correct way.
Thank you. The laundry kitchen area. The kitchen area will be equipped with a larger industrial stainless steel sink including an expanded drying area and shelving above to support proper sanitation, equipment cleaning, and workflow efficiency. We've requested that there be some sort of, like installation of mirrors in main hallways, help staff and volunteers see around corners when walking animals. There are some unresolved needs, like there's not really a definitive solution yet for noise reduction within the dog kennels, but this is an area opportunity for nonprofits to potentially help find resolution in. For the exterior structural improvements, window was requested for the door leading from the dog kennels to the outside play yard. It's the door that volunteers leverage. That way you can see if someone else has come in. Additionally, it's requested to use stainless steel rather than galvanized fencing for better durability. The units currently located outside the exit door will be moved to the side to clear the walkway. Sallyport, the service door to the south currently sticks. Garmong made note of that and will provide alternatives for adding heat and air to the Sallyport space. For drainage, there's underground piping that will be installed at the front of the building to eliminate ice hazards. This work will not restrict or change any access to the play areas for the dogs. IT will handle cameras and any other electronic security. Christy will review what needs adjustment. So just to help kind of set expectations in terms of scope. So again, the outdoor play yards, those won't be touched by the renovations. They're not under the current project scope, but Christy's looking into implementation of rubber mulch to improve the drainage and reduce mud conditions. And then, as always, if there's any help needed there, please let Friends of the Shelter know. The kennels, aside from any plumbing, electrical, and fencing fixes, full kennel replacements or enrichment upgrades are not included in the renovations. Cat kennel maintenance, there are some with rusted or non-functional wheels. If those need fixed, let us know. And there are some biosecurity limitations just due to the way the building is configured. So this renovation will significantly improve the ability to contain the pathogens, but maybe not quite to newer shelter standards because of the square footage. Also, Christy is looking at implementing the vaccinations right upon intake to help reduce.
That's been implemented.
Oh, it's already been implemented. Instead of waiting, the vaccinations will be implemented right on intake. Some other areas that have been requested about the master plan. So we were told that should be available in about 2 to 3 weeks. They've just been waiting for Christy's start date to ensure that she got to see what was in the planning and add her inputs, which, thanks for being able to add 2 to 3 dog kennels. In the meantime, Garmong's been working with electricians for quotes to present to the commissioners, and they'll continue to do more with additional subcontractors. The shelter staff and volunteers have been working diligently on cleaning up the space. So as we saw last weekend, a lot of progress was made there. And that concludes the summary of the facility. Does anybody else that did the walkthrough have any other comments? Anything missed?
Did you mention with the freezer moving out, the addition of quarantine kennels?
Oh, yes. So the freezer is moving out. That's what will add space to really, keep the euthanization space separate from other living animals. It does add quite a bit of additional space. And the benefit of the 2 to 3 dog kennels is when you walk into the intake, it'll be right across that hall. So right now it's a storage area. But the goal is for officers to bring in dogs there, and then they can hopefully be there for 5 days. That's the ideal quarantine, and then move to general population. Rather than today, they go straight to general population. Any other key points missed? Christy, did you have anything? Yeah.
It would be the same idea with the cats. So there would be a quarantine area for the cats where the freezer currently sits. The freezer will be out on the outside of the building now, and there will be a quarantine area for the cats as well, so that nothing is being moved into general population or onto the adoption floor without a what I would like to change to a 5-day quarantine, and as opposed to a 3. So, yeah.
All right, if there are no other comments, we'll move to the kind of the strategic planning of basically action items and kind of next steps. So we've kind of put together a roadmap, which I don't know that Christy's gotten much of a chance to review. But basically, we don't want to improve just the building, but also the outcomes for the animals. So we kind of organize these goals into 5 pillars, which are infrastructure, operations, legal, community, and performance. So some of the areas that we can likely mark as complete is the shelter cleanup, although how much, do you feel that there's quite a bit more cleanup to do, or do you guys?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So making great progress there, but there's still more to do with the cleanup and inventory relocation. Another top item on the list is modernizing SOP. So that's currently in progress. I believe you've made quite a bit of change, though, already.
Right. Yep. So we've already updated the vaccine protocol, the cat care protocol, the dog cleaning protocol, basically the quarantine protocol. Of course, we don't have a whole lot of space right now, obviously, but at this point, animals are going to be vaccinated immediately upon arrival, regardless of, if there's an unknown vaccine status, the animals are to be vaccinated immediately, regardless of whether they have, in the past, if they were microchipped, it was to be assumed that they had had vaccines. So that is no longer going to be a thing. So if we don't know that they've had vaccines in the past, they will be vaccinated upon arrival. So that's part of the change with the vaccine protocol. We're changing things daily, so.
Awesome, thank you. And another, so regarding the legal pillar, we do need to audit the 2000 county ordinance to ensure it matches with modern operations. And one thing we kind of want to bring, how can the board assist, Todd and Christy with this? I know you already have some great ideas, but I know that it's been a big problem, kind of brought up back in December about the ordinance and how it's outdated. And maybe it's a better question for Todd. Can you kind of help explain how we would go about as part of our next steps while renovations are occurring?
Yeah, an ordinance is basically a local law, and ordinances are generally adopted to, especially if there's any type of fine or penalty that's required to be part of an ordinance versus a resolution, which is really just kind of a statement that's out there. The original ordinance is kind of unusual in that generally you want to stick to what you're trying to accomplish, and the 2000 ordinance actually went into including SOPs as part of the ordinance. And I don't know why that was done. There's really no record of why that was done that way. But generally an ordinance would be something separate from the standard operating procedures, and that would be more of an in-house thing that's not part of the actual ordinance. And then the ordinance was amended in 2000, I think it was in 2018. And the big changes there, and the reason for the amendment at that time was to try to strengthen the language that allowed for enforcement of fines and penalties associated with animal issues. And that was part of that was done at the request of the prosecutor, who thought that the current ordinance made it difficult to enforce some of those penalties. The other big change there was that they changed the period where the animals were required to be kept before, as it says in the ordinance, they become the property of the county, and they changed that to 15 days. And then they also created an appeals process even after that, where it could be appealed to the commissioners, although I believe that's never been done. And so, in updating those, part of it is, would be to define the purpose and scope of the facility. And it wouldn't be to put in SOPs or mission statements or
Option fees.
Yeah, it's really just to state, here's what we're trying to accomplish. And a test of a good ordinance or a good resolution is it kind of stands the test of time. That's what you're hoping to do. And so it's kind of a balancing act between being specific and kind of general at the same time. You're dealing with purposes and concepts, and it's either in SOPs, mission statements, things along those lines where you start to deal with the specifics of how you're trying to put into effect what the ordinance states you're supposed to be doing.
So in order, do we feel like there needs to be a committee in order to start helping with getting that updated?
I mean, this committee could certainly help.
Okay.
I mean, you could create a subcommittee, if you wanted to. I think the commissioners would certainly be open to hearing what your recommendations are. And then ultimately there would be, just like there is going to be with the resolution, the ordinance, whatever ordinance would be drafted would go to legal. Once it got through legal, then it would come up in front of the commissioners for a vote. Majority vote, it passes. Majority vote against it, it fails.
Okay. All right. Sorry, that was one of my top of mind questions. So does anybody else have a question on the ordinance and kind of next step there? Okay.
Should we go ahead and try to do a subcommittee now? Or for the ordinance? I don't.
That's up to you. It's your committee, your decisions. And
Yeah.
that if it were me, if it was my decision and I was looking at trying to prioritize things on what I thought were what I wanted to work on first, the ordinances would be the items. Because from that, everything else flows. And you can't get it really into revising SOPs until you understand what the scope and the purpose is. And I also think that that's likely where there's the most potential controversy. And so I would want to deal with that up front. But that's not my decision to make.
I think it'd be a good idea if we got a subcommittee going on that, because like you said, everything we're doing is based off an outdated
Yeah.
ordinance, so I think we need to get that going.
Yeah.
So what, from a legal standpoint, is the subcommittee subject to like the open door piece, like if they meet, so they can work?
As long as the subcommittee doesn't constitute a quorum. So you would have to keep it below a quorum of a membership.
Okay, so you
Like
wouldn't
3 people.
violate, okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what subcommittees do, anything that they want to recommend has to come back to the full committee and be voted on.
So it's not you have really no decision-making?
That's correct.
Okay, so it
That's
has
correct.
some checks and balances?
Yep.
Okay.
And even then, the commissioners would have to put it in place, so even if we said this is what we recommend, commissioners might say no, and then we're done, so.
Well, Sergeant Wright, would you like to be part?
I would.
So you're pretty key part being part of the ACOs. So if we make it up of, I don't know, 3 members, is there anybody else that would like to volunteer to be part?
I'll do.
No? Anybody else? Okay. All right. So, do we have to do like a motion on that?
I would,
I think
just
the
for the
president,
record.
You could just appoint them.
Okay.
Is that not?
Well, we got
is that
volunteers,
your
so.
understanding? That's my
Okay.
understanding.
Yeah, I think you should first make a motion forming a subcommittee. And
Okay.
then get that passed to make sure that the membership, the quorum of the membership agrees with that. And then your next move would then be to make the appointments and then have a vote on that also,
Okay.
just to make sure the record's clear.
All right, so entertain a motion to form a special committee for ordinance
So moved.
review.
So,
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. A motion approved to form an ordinance committee,
Subcommittee.
subcommittee. All right, and then motion, or entertain a motion to make appointments,
is it-
or is it?
can she just make appointments as the
I
president?
think you can just make appointments
Okay.
and then have the board members confirm those.
Okay, so we'll have Sergeant Wright, Greg Anderson, and Carol Battistini.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, perfect. All right. One other item wanted to mention, or I guess ask, is to touch on reporting. It'd be great at the next meeting if we can kind of have, I don't know, a report of the data trends to kind of present in terms of what the intake's been and what outcomes have been. Are you guys open to that? I know you may not have had a chance to look at your computer much, but
Yeah, I can do that.
okay. And then I don't know, Sergeant Wright, if you have data yet on any of that. Okay. Is that likely once the ACOs are?
Well, I would, once I get
Okay.
mine up and running, obviously I'll give you all the data.
Okay.
But, that would just be from the sheriff's department.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, thanks everyone for the discussion and action items. Any other comments before we turn it to the floor? All right. We welcome input from the public. Your feedback's vital to our mission. Please be sure to state your name, address for the record. Ask that you limit your comments to 3 to 5 minutes, so that way we can make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. Yeah, who would like to go first? All right. Going once, twice, any comments from the floor?
Question.
Yeah.
Robert Decker, 38 South County Road, 525 West in Danville.
Could you step up here, because there's a mic, sorry.
Robert Decker, 525 South County Road, 38 South County Road, 525 West, sorry about that. There's been a lot of discussion about the euthanasia rule. So what's going on with euthanasia as we move forward with the new director?
So there won't be, there's not going to be a whole lot of difference other than obviously we're not going to put the shelter over capacity like it once was. I mean, we do have at this point right now, I'm not taking in a lot of owner surrenders. I'm not taking in a lot of feral cats, not because of the renovations. I just don't have space at the moment. So I'm not going to exceed capacity at the shelter because frankly, I don't have space for it at the moment. I'm not making any rash decisions. I'm not going in and mass euthanizing dogs. I'm not doing any of the crazy things that people are concerned about. There's not a time limit. I will never euthanize for time or space because I plan to never get it in that. I plan to never allow it to be in that condition. I'm going to work with as many rescues as I can to get the animals out of the shelter that are not adoptable. I plan to implement some temperament testing to make sure that these animals are safe to be adopted out. And when it comes to making the hard decisions when we do reach capacity, I will have basically an algorithm, if you will, for the ones that unfortunately are not adoptable. That being said, the ones that are not adoptable, once again, I will work with rescues to try to find them places to go as an option other than euthanasia. So I do plan on implementing temperament testing at this point. It is not done in the shelter, and so unfortunately, a lot of the dogs that are adopted out, quite a few of them are returned because we simply don't know if they are good with other dogs, or are they a good fit for a family, do they like children, are they food aggressive? Those are all things that at this point, the animals that are adopted out of the shelter, those are all unknowns, and so they go to homes and sometimes they fail, they do not thrive, they are returned, which ultimately leads to things like kennel craze and some of the situations, the circumstances that I'm seeing right now at the shelter. So, I do have some plans to try to help prevent some of those things, but once again, I was hired to do a job, and the shelter will never be, it's just not going to be, we're not going to have animals living in the hallways anymore, and we're not going to have, it's not going to be at, it's not going to be over capacity like it was. So hopefully I can work with rescues and get them pulled and see how it goes. But we're going to have a little bit more space too, so that will definitely help. But there's not a plan to go in and just euthanize all the dogs. I know that's been a major concern of the public's, and that's not happening. So that's not who I am. That's not where I come from, and that's not what I've been directed to do. So.
Yeah, and the transparency with this and the data helps other nonprofits, kind of revamp programs. Okay, there's this need in the community, and that's where we can kind of step up and, do more in spay-neuter programs and things of that nature. All right, next, any other questions from the floor? Oh, wait.
Jennifer Hopkins, 174 Mill Springs. I guess I'm with West Central Indianapolis Lost Dog. I work with Wright, Larson, and Sadler. My concern is with the townships and everything, or the towns taking a more active role in their animal control. How are we going to merge the system? So, like, if they're getting a call about a dog running around Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh police officer, I'm just bringing up Pittsburgh, not to bring up any. But will they call the shelter? And when do we engage, or when do you guys? Systems.
So keep in mind, we have asked the towns to start helping
Right.
out with the mundane runs, right? So if somebody calls in and says, "Hey, my neighbor's dog's always running around and coming on my property," a local officer could go there to the homeowner or the dog owner and say, "Hey, that's a violation of a state statute, and keep your dogs away." So that's what we're asking them to do if they ever get into a situation, which is funny because on Friday when there was a post, we went and helped Brownsburg pick up a German Shepherd that had a family penned. Mm-hmm. So we're there to help.
Right.
So I met with with Nancy at the Board of Health today.
Okay.
So we're coordinating when animal bites happen.
Good.
Because the shelter / animal control did all those through the county, no matter where it happened at. We have set up for a smooth transition with the towns that we will continue to do that until the towns get the ability, knowledge on how to do that. Okay. So we're working with the towns.
Sure.
We have worked with the towns.
Totally saw that coming. Yes, definitely.
Everything's been going smoothly.
I just don't know, I guess if it's like an ongoing issue, do they know to contact the shelter and then contact us to help? I know you have.
Yeah, our road officers have 24 access to the shelter.
Okay.
Brownsburg has brought in dogs.
Right.
Avon has brought in dogs. Right. We have a process set up. So
now I know in the past, Plainfield had their own animal control.
They did,
for a while.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for the towns, but I could probably see towns doing what the sheriff did, where he started an animal control and a community to support, like you said, Plainfield's done in the past.
We're
not leaving anybody out to dry. None of the towns, we're here to help. we've been in contact with Christie. She came up with a new form for
Right.
officers to fill out.
Perfect,
So
that was
she
my
has
next
all the
question.
information.
Because I know they were being dropped off and
Right.
in the morning they'd pull up and they'd have no idea where the dog came
Yeah,
from
so,
or.
again, that was when everything was switching and there was going to be your own page.
Well, that
but-
goes, I mean, that's happened way back, years
Oh, I
ago.
got you, I got
Yeah,
you.
years ago.
But
I
so
just didn't know if
far-
there was like flow in place
Yeah,
now.
we've got it up, so when our guys drop off a dog at 2 a.m., they're emailing the shelter through their email, they're copying me on it,
Right.
so I'm on it too, so if they have any questions, say it was a OWI arrest or
Mhm.
something, and they're like,
Yep.
hey, can you check in there, are they still in jail?
Right.
'Cause we're gonna have to explain how this
Right.
works, so, yeah,
Now-
we're getting through it.
With the history, like the known frequent flyers that we all know, I mean, I can recognize the dog that I've seen out a million times. The officers might not know that we have history with these dogs now because of everything changing. I mean, will they look to you or to your shelter staff and say, hey, you know,
Well, hopefully, I mean, if they're coming in the shelter,
if they're not, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
or if they're not
Yeah.
in the
I'm
shelter.
guessing they're gonna call me.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're gonna call me and
Okay.
say, hey, Jason, we got this dog running around, we cannot catch it.
Like,
said,
I'm-
I know some people.
Right.
Let me get you in contact with them, they do a
Right.
good job of.
well, I'm just thinking like, I've just one dog in particular that's out all the time in Clayton. He just recently moved to Plainfield, and the dog's out now all the time in Plainfield.
and s-
Saying we know that dog. I mean, we
Right.
could see, as soon as we see it on social media, I'm like, there's that dog.
Right.
So if it's just being returned, I know we have history on the shelter side when we were doing animal control and shelter at the same time. And I say we, meaning
Right.
not me, but we know, I mean, I recognize it right away. And I would just say, hey, Tank's out again. We got to do something about it, you know, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, whatever.
Right.
So I didn't know,
And
with
if-
the local, you
Yeah, and
now,
the officers, I'm guessing, very quickly will also, if they keep going back to that house, they're gonna
Right.
know, oh, I know who that dog.
Right.
It's, you
Right.
know, Mr. Smith, let's go knock on his door, and I would like to say, every ordinance, almost every ordinance violation, I guess, is covered under state law.
yeah,
So I don't want anybody thinking that a town needs an ordinance to, you know,
Right.
write a citation for a dog running loose.
Right.
That's covered under a state
Right.
statute.
true,
Neglect is covered under
True.
a state statute.
True.
Cruelty is, you know, so I don't want people thinking, well, and, you know, these officers can't do anything because it's an ordinance. Well, no, you know, that's not true. It's almost always based on the state
Right.
law. And again, if any of the towns need help,
they're going to call
they're
you.
going to call me. And they
Right.
already have.
They
Like I
already
said,
have.
Friday
Right.
morning, Brownsburg called and said, well, you know what our option is, Jason?
Right.
If we go in for this German Shepherd, can you come help us? I said, yep, we're
Right.
coming. And we corralled the dog
And
in
they're
the
gonna take-
bathroom. We got
Right.
a pole on it and took it to the shelter.
Okay, and they're going to, I'm assuming it's on their own, each town's have a training, is that going to be enforced?
I can't speak for the towns.
Okay, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
coming down from sheriff, if that would come down from the
Well,
sheriff,
if it's happening, if it's a town, if it's in the town limits, it would be up to the town to do.
to
all
do whatever they have to do, okay.
Because a good example is like Indianapolis. Lawrence has their own animal
Sure.
control. Speedway has their own.
Beach Grove,
animal
I
control.
know,
Beach
yeah.
Grove's have, you know.
I worked with
so,
ICS
you
a
know,
lot,
it's
too.
not
Yeah.
uncommon for cities to have animal
Sure.
control.
Yeah,
So if the towns choose to do that, great. In the meantime, we'll help them
right,
anytime they need help, and even if they get an animal control thing set up, we'll still help each
I
other.
think
It's
that-
just like the police, right? If
sure.
Plainfield Police need something, they say, hey, Call County can see if they help us. Absolutely.
Okay, so say if like a hoarding case or a neglect
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, dog fighting ring, whatever, you never know, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
Those charges are usually done at the county level.
correct.
Okay, so then, in a situation like that, the towns would have to bring it to the county.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
yeah, it's just like filing, it's no
Right.
different than if they charge somebody with domestic battery.
Okay.
They
Come to the
charge
county.
it to that, you know, in those instances, they probably would reach out to me, and then obviously I'd call the animal
Right.
Board of Health, because I got to get the state vet involved. If it's any type of
Sure.
fighting, I have to call
Sure.
gaming and say, hey, we
Oh,
got a thing down
yeah.
here, and, you know, then
Oh,
honestly, I wouldn't be helping, and then the state would come in and do all that.
Sure.
But, you know, we'll get the resources that we need to make sure.
Is there, like with the new, I don't know if it would be an SOP, probably, holding for like litigations, like if we're in the middle of a court case or something like that?
I mean, all of that would still be the same, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
those,
mean-
those animals won't count towards the max at the shelter if we're in a court process. Like if we're confiscating,
No, I mean, so they wouldn't be like, no, I mean, no, they're not going to take, they're not going to count against like, I mean, obviously I'm going
Right.
to take things like that into consideration.
Right.
I'm not
well,
just,
I know there
you
was
know.
talk before that they were going to utilize maybe some of the 4-H area for like severe court.
Yeah, I mean, if we get into like a hoarding situation
Right.
or
Like
a
for the
fighting
13
ring, or,
or-
yeah, if we get into something crazy like that, obviously, we're gonna have to utilize space somewhere.
Right.
Is that the county fairgrounds? I don't know,
Right. I don't know if
but
that's
we,
on the-
but we would figure it out,
but that's-
right? I'm not gonna
I have.
euthanize a bunch of animals
Yeah, I
in
have
order to house
someone
them.
who has
Yeah.
offered
Yeah.
space for.
Oh, sure, yeah.
goats, cows and all that
Yeah,
stuff, so.
Scott's been a friend of ours. Yeah.
So-
I
Okay.
mean, we're gonna figure those things
If
out
we have
as they come,
emergencies,
for
like,
sure,
even when I was a police officer, we
Right.
figure it out.
yeah.
You just, sometimes in life, you just gotta figure it out.
Well, I do
And we'll figure
appreciate
it
this,
out.
I do appreciate the Sally Port being,
It is, I used it today.
I'm so happy. I heard
Me
you
and
went and got
my-
that
Me and my
husky.
newest employee.
I went to her, got that husky, finally.
Yes,
Me and
we-
Robin were loaded up and ready to go.
Well, I should have called you.
Right.
Where were you at?
0 times.
So
Yeah.
me and my newest.
Yeah, I do appreciate that, 'cause
animal
last thing I
control
want is a
deputy went
dog
down,
bouncing
picked
back
it
and
up,
forth
we
off of
pulled in the
36.
Sally Port.
And it was vaccinated on
And it was-
intake.
And it was vaccinated.
Well, I mean, that's been
Yeah.
I mean, we, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so
just leave it
anyway,
there.
the Sally
Yeah.
Port. we
I'll leave it
put
at
right in,
that.
So it was nice.
Okay,
We even had the garage door clicker work
good,
for us.
perfect, appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Check, check, check.
Yep, yep.
Hi.
I'm Tammy Hoy. I live at 428 Tamarack Drive. I was just wondering, is there going to be, or is there already a fundraising component to the animal shelter, animal control? Is that the Friends?
Yeah, that's the Friends. I'm a board member of the Friends as well, so that's our sole purpose, is to be a supporting arm to the animal shelter.
Okay.
The Humane Society is more like, does a lot of outreach programs, so spay neuter, but yeah, like we've raised funds for animals that have, I guess, more complex medical issues and things of that nature.
So if you are involved in any other animal rescue or shelter within Hendricks County, since you're all coordinating, it's kind of like you're all kind of working together, so the needs are all kind of being met and assessed in unison. In other words, there's no one that's going neglected. I guess people don't think of the animal control as being a place that necessarily needs, I think, funding or fundraising. So if there's an issue within the shelter, in the county shelter, maybe people, that's not front of mind, so that if you're doing work with, say, Misty Eyes or the Humane Society, everybody's coordinating so that the help is getting to where it needs to go. Is that?
Yeah, and that's where I think Christy will also help in kind of making those more robust and making sure that, we're, almost having like a decision tree of all the rescues are being, reached out to in order to help animals. I don't want to speak for you, but, Misty Eyes has stepped up and, taken, I don't know, I think last year was like several cats at like once. And so there definitely are, scenarios where rescues do try to pull when they have the capacity. We've talked to Creekside. They're not in the county, but they've said, yeah, find us fosters and we'll be happy to pull animals and kind of go through their foster program.
Okay, perfect, great.
I don't know if Christy, if I've
Yeah, there's also an alliance group in the state of Indiana, and a lot of people that aren't involved in like shelter or rescue don't realize that or don't know about that group. And so it's basically every shelter, every rescue, I'm not going to say every, but the majority of them are involved in this. It's an alliance group. And so if I have a dog, a severe case in the shelter that, it could be, I don't know, a fluffy little dog that is just this gremlin that wants to, eat everyone, and I can't get it adopted out because it's just not safe for me to do so. But it could have, it has potential, and I think that it's definitely not a dog that I would want to euthanize. I can post it out to this alliance group, and it goes, all over the state of Indiana, pretty much. And there might be a rescue from from Fort Wayne that I can arrange a transport halfway between here and there and meet up. I did that all the time from Greenfield, Indiana. I mean, I sent dogs all over the place, Michigan, Florida. I mean, there is this huge network out there of possibilities for these dogs and places for them to go, and there are people that can spend time with them and change them and help them. Not every dog, I can't do it with everyone, but there are a lot of options out there to get these dogs out of the shelter. It truly takes a village. You know, I mean, it takes a lot of people, a lot of time, and if I have the time, if I have the resources, if I can get this place under control and get everything going, I mean, I can do a lot of things to avoid euthanasia, to get those numbers down, to find these animals that second chance. But it takes time, and obviously I've got a lot of things going on. So, I mean,
Now, is this alliance, does it have like a website?
It's a private. It is a private group, and like the people that are involved in rescue and shelters, you have to be invited to this group, and it's on Facebook. And I mean, but it is a huge, huge, huge group of people, and they are all. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, they all work together and really try to get these dogs out of shelters. Dogs that are struggling, dogs that are injured, dogs that are.
For about 10 years now.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
got
yeah.
A lot of dogs moved.
Yeah. So I mean, and people that don't know that even exists. But if you utilize that group, it really, really helps. So I mean, I just wanted to tell you that does exist, and I use that group. So yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, I really am going to try to get these animals out of there as a last resort. I mean, I don't want to euthanize animals. No one that works with animals, no one that does this job wants to euthanize animals. I promise you.
Under the former director, she was coordinating maybe some like outreach and things like that I was involved in as well. So are you going to continue to do things like that, events or?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I want to do a lot of those things, and with the help of friends, I want to do all of those things. But I mean, I have so many things.
Yeah. Right.
My list is endless right now of things that I need to do. So yes, the answer is yes, and I will get there. And I mean, come to the shelter and talk to me.
Okay.
Come anytime and talk to me. I will sit down and speak with you about your concerns, or if you have any great ideas, please come talk to me about them, because I would love to hear them.
Do you have a wish list?
I have.
I mean, I'm sure you do. But I mean,
I'm gonna put a wish list out on Facebook, an Amazon wish list. I have not been able to do that just yet. I did put out a plea for some. We need some blankets, some rugs. One of the things that the dogs in the shelter right now need, we have a lot of small blankets, but we need some thick blankets. We have some dogs that have some sore feet right now. There's some things like that. We could use some new toys, some new enrichment activities. I mean, there's lots of things that we need right now. Okay. I am literally going through cabinet by cabinet, closet by closet, room by room, and evaluating things. There's a lot of stuff at the shelter, and there's things that are, there's some new things and there's a lot of old things, and we're just trying to, go through those things, like I said, drawer by drawer, because obviously I got to make some space so that they can get in there and do the renovations. There's going to be a list. There's going to be lots of things that, day by day I'm going to come up with that we're going to need. So I would say watch Facebook, because that's going to be my biggest way to communicate with the public right now. I keep telling, the friends and my employees, I don't know Hendricks County as well as they do. I want to learn Hendricks County. I do have some family here. I do spend a lot of time here in the summer. So that will get better. But I do need your help. I mean, I do need the public's help. I do need the community's help. So please come see me, come talk to me. Feel free to stop by and give me your ideas. But
so you're just open like regular hours now? I can just stop in? Or?
Yeah, I'm there right now. I'm there 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, unless I have meetings and I'm here later. Okay. But like I said, you can always call and find out when I'm going to be there. And I've met a lot of volunteers, and I will chat with you as long as I have the time. So.
Great, thank you.
Yep,
Welcome.
you're welcome.
I'll
Yeah.
stop by. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm returning these. Hello, I'm Tracy Brahman. I reside at 1411 Township Line Road in Plainfield. I'm a current volunteer of Friends of the Shelter. And so I wanted to drop those off from last meeting, from John Bates, actually.
Yes.
And he wanted to know when we in the public will be allowed to review the new design.
There.
I think he said in 2 to 3
2
weeks,
to
they'll
3
have the
weeks, I
master.
think is what we were given last week from Garmon.
Yeah, on Thursday. He said 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's probably 2 or less now,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Zach called me today.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The project engineer called me today, and he and I are we're supposed to have a meeting tomorrow or, Wednesday or Thursday, to hopefully kind of get that all mapped out, and then, of course, they'll have to draw it out and whatnot. So I don't, probably will be, I would say, at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a good question, though, too. Is that presented to the commissioners, like the drawing for the public to see, or because they kind of just do quotes, don't they, at the...
Yeah, I don't know that the quotes will be public. And I know that they're requiring 3 quotes for the work. I honestly don't know. I'll have to see what's in that.
Okay.
And my guess is it would be, but I can't say for sure until I actually review it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. My next question is, and this is kind of something down the road, obviously. We've got a lot in the forefront with the renovations, but we used to do adoption events for the dogs, and that was put on to a halt for a certain reason. And so I'm hoping that somehow is also being discussed, that is something that we can do in the future.
Yep, that's on my radar.
Okay.
I got to figure out. Apparently, there's some issue with the insurance
Yeah.
and the transporting of the animals. So I need to Todd and I need to figure that out. That happened, I think, shortly right before I came, maybe.
Yeah.
And so that is on my radar.
Okay.
Again,
I know. There's a
I've
lot.
been here 5 days,
I
so
understand.
6
I
days.
understand. I just wanted to put it
yes,
out
it is.
there.
It is on my radar. So we will get that figured out. I know. I definitely, obviously, want to do adoption events.
Sure.
And even if it's, a situation where, I've spoken with the shelter staff about, maybe doing some half-price adoptions or, something to where we can try to get some dogs out pretty quickly before the renovations start,
Sure.
because that will obviously make our lives a little bit easier while they're doing the renovations. I did ask them if the amount of dogs that we have there right now, if the renovations can be done with that amount of dogs, and they said yes, absolutely. So it wasn't it's not a concern that, and we're pretty full right now. Not so much on cats because we're trying to keep that down to a minimum, because I know we're going to start getting some kittens, obviously, this spring, but it's not a concern right now with the dogs, so please do not worry about that. But, we will be doing something here shortly, maybe some half-price adoptions, something like that. So, even if we have some ideas coming up for March, so maybe some March Madness or some St. Patrick's Day ideas. We'll be doing something like that as far as, at the shelter. We'll figure out the insurance stuff here pretty quick.
Good deal. Okay.
And for some context, it was after Pumpkins and Paws found that it's been lucky that over a decade there hasn't been an incident, because it turned out unless an employee was there, it wasn't covered. So that's why we stopped it. We don't want to
Yeah.
take any risks. To try to help any events we have, like we have a bingo event this Saturday. We've got pictures of animals and descriptions about them ready to go on each table. There will be a Dine to Donate at Bubba's, so we hope to have like little table cards, like, hey, look at the animals available for
I think that's
adoption.
great.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, fingers crossed.
Yes.
So I know you love doing that and you're great at it. So
Yeah. All right. Good deal.
Yeah, and any ideas, again, if you have any other ideas, feel free to stop in and chat with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the floor? All right. So we can move on to the next meeting date cadence. So currently, we've been having the meetings Tuesdays at 5:30. We haven't set up a cadence yet, but the shelter is open till 6 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I don't know if we want to push this to a little bit later, push it to like a Monday or Wednesday to help accommodate shelter staff if they'd like to come. But I also don't know what works.
I'm open. Just tell me.
You said Mondays are good for you? Okay. Is everybody okay with the Monday cadence at 5:30? And do we want to do bi-weekly? I guess I'll look to you because what kind of support do you feel like you need? Would bi-weekly kind of help you identify problems early and help us help you?
I honestly, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
really know at this point, but I'm open to whatever. Honestly,
Okay.
I can do anything except Wednesday evenings. So.
Okay.
I'd say probably bi-weekly would be best,
Okay.
right, until we
At least for now.
Yeah. Okay.
kind of get our finger on everything and figure out what's going on.
Let me just check here.
9th?
Yeah, Monday the 9th. Okay, so next meeting, Monday, March 9th at 5:30 p.m. Same room. And then it also looks like we want to finish March out, Monday, March 23rd. Would be bi-weekly for this month, next month. Okay. All right. Any other further business? All right. So if there's no further business, then entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion is adjourned at 6:27.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.